There is a lot of hidden lore in the long dark, some of which is only recoverable when the lights turn back on. The remote Mystery Lake region, while quiet, is filled with many secrets to uncover across Wintermute and survival mode. In this video, I want to read through and discuss the buffer memories found within the Mystery Lake camp office. If you want to know more about the buffer memories within the nearby Carter Dam, be sure to watch this video. Before I continue, please make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so I can keep making these videos. Before I start reading the buffer memories, I need to clarify this. I will be reading them in chronological order. While there is an entry order for all buffer memories at each location, there is sometimes a document order for when they were made by the writer. I don't know what the true order is, but I believe the document names should tell you the correct order. Therefore, the order is log upload 2, 3, 4, 9, and 11. What a time to be out here, Sherry. I made the right decision. Observations are going well, and I hope to be done with research here on the southern end of the island by the end of the week. Locals tell me I should have through the end of the month before any weather starts getting in the way of my plans to head north. Tell Dr. Chase the data looks promising with regard to his publication date. We'll be expecting their return this winter, but end results remain unknown. I hope to gather additional information on this phenomenon next spring. Continued logging could be a factor to consider. Bear activity around the Mystery Lake is pronounced, although human interaction by all accounts is very rare. This is to be expected this time of year, and based on the available data, we can make the following conclusions. Suggests adaptation to the new seasonal high temperatures. Recommend further study to confirm shift in migration. Previous observations confirm their presence. Predatory species, if introduced, could see a profound devastation of Mystery Lake's local fish stocks. We will need to follow up to check whether there are attempts to introduce these invasive species deliberately. What we are seeing here is a scientist studying the local wildlife of the region. My best guess is that this is a conservation biologist working to study and preserve the wildlife population of Mystery Lake as well as Great Bear Island as a whole. This is not the only person within this field of science that is mentioned within the lore of the Long Dark. As a part of the Black Rock Rumors side quest, you can find a note about a scientist going to Black Rock to study an abnormal wolf and whether it needed to be culled or not. A conservation biologist takes many measures to ensure that the local population is healthy, stable, and there are no environmental factors that could threaten the population. I suspect that these buffer memories happen across 2 study seasons, which is separated by a winter season. I'm not too sure because we don't know the true order that Hinterland intended. If the order I place them is correct, then the first study season is a success. The first memory says that their research showed promising results. There is nothing out of the ordinary as per the data they have available from previous studies. The second memory mentioned that a wildlife group was expected to return the following spring, but they were not certain about that. It also mentioned logging may be a factor, which is an important topic for Mystery Lake. Logging was introduced into the region by the Briar House Logging Company. In Wintermute Episode 2, the forest talker that is part of the Lake Gunshot side quest requests Will to bring them documents that proves Briar House was cutting old-growth trees illegally. If this is something the forest talkers were trying to prove for a while and just barely got it done after the first flare, then I imagine the logging had only been happening for a few years. If this logging was having an effect on the local wildlife, it was most likely affecting the deer population and their ability to elude or escape predators. The third memory is all about bear activity. The bear population is very active, which, assuming this is the tail end of the fall season, means they are preparing for hibernation. The writer notes they could conclude certain things based on previous data and observations, but that is cut off from the memory. The fourth memory shows some interesting changes from the first 3 memories. I assume since it jumps from the 4th document to the 9th document, this is sometime later. Here we see that a specific wildlife population is not present based on previous observations. If this is the deer population that was alluded to previously, then they may be changing their migration patterns. The writer makes note of changing seasonal high temperatures, confirming that climate change is a concern in the world of the Long Dark. The final memory is a little more concerning. Apparently, the predator population is increasing. The writer makes note that they need to see if this increase is due to deliberate introduction. If so, this could have a devastating toll on the overall wildlife population. Too many deer can have as devastating of a toll to geography as too many wolves can on prey populations. Also, make sure to not take this as a canon reason why there are so many wolves in the game. Especially in Stalker difficulty, the wolf population is certainly out of control due solely to game difficulty balance. This is definitely not due to what we see in this buffer memory. The most important thing we can learn from these buffer memories is that there must be balance in order to save and preserve wildlife. There are many ways to ensure that predator and prey populations stay healthy. Intervention is sometimes necessary, whether it involves scientific research, hunting restrictions, or introducing wildlife manually. Great Bear Island may be long forgotten following the collapse, but the island was certainly important enough to preserve the wildlife populations. With this one bit of help from scientific institutions, the wildlife of the island remained plentiful for the islanders to benefit from when they needed it. I'm sure Jeremiah wasn't complaining at all. If you enjoyed this lore video for the Long Dark, please make sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so I can keep making them.